Sì, hai detto Rome sulla Luna.
No, fai una foto a questo.
So I'm very honored now to introduce Giorgio de Finis. Finis. We have an excellent translator with us because, well, my mother tongue is not English, so I'm actually also a little vulnerable here. But Giorgio, he's privileged to have an Italian interpreter. So Giorgio, welcome.
Grazie.
We just had an hour together just to brief on how is life today. So Giorgio, a small piece was screened here. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sì,
So bear with us translating.
sì, io sono un antropologo di formazione che da anni lavoro creando dispositivi, diciamo, d'arte che però lavorano poi
Well, good afternoon. I am Giorgio de Finis. I'm anthropologist by education, and I've been creating arts devices for many years now. Basically, I really want to propose something which is useful for the daily life in the city. What you have just seen is something that I have initiated in Rome. It's a squat Metropoliz with 200 people, poor people, migrants people that live there all together.
L'idea che abbiamo proposto a queste persone era un gioco, diciamo il gioco era un film, cioè utilizzare il cinema come dispositivo situazionista e relazionale, cioè creare la situazione del cinema all'interno di questa comunità e usarlo un po' come cavallo di Troia. Il cinema per entrare.
So what we have proposed to these people, these 200 people living in Metropolis, is to build together a racket to go to the moon, because Rome, and it is not a game and it is not a joke, Rome has become, like many other cities I guess in the world, not livable anymore, very difficult, very non-human. So we said, okay, let's understand your needs and let's realize your dreams, our dreams, and let's build a racket to go to migrate, yes, somewhere, but not to another planet, but to the moon. And to do this, we have proposed the movie context, so really to tell the story together and to see what daily happens and what daily is to be realized together.
E per realizzare questo progetto, a cui gli abitanti hanno detto di essere felici di partecipare, ma poi ovviamente
at the very beginning everybody was very glad and very happy to join this project, but then in the end this happiness progressively went down, because basically it was a collective art object and it was considered as a useless object. So at a certain point, you know, they said that maybe it was not that interesting. Nevertheless, throughout, I would say, one entire working year, approximately 100 artists have joined, and then in the end, in Metropolis, the project proved to be successful, and so the moon has become, in the meanwhile, closer.
Sì, la Luna era diciamo un foglio bianco su cui
And we have proposed the moon because we consider the moon to be an excellent place where you can start your life again from scratch, in the sense that, as you know from the international treaties, the moon, on the moon, the private property is not a reality yet, it's not possible, it's not allowed, no weapons are used, and so the moon was considered, as in our initial proposal, a white paper where you can start your dream again and where you can start your story again.
Okay. E il museo è nato
After
dopo
this
questo
experience,
primo
after
anno.
1 year, we thought that the game was over, that everything was finished, and that we had to go for something else, to start something else. But the inhabitants asked us to stay longer and to make something out of it, so to go ahead. And that is why the idea of the museum came about. And so we have set up this museum of Altro and Altrove, which means in Italian the museum of other things and elsewhere also. So it's something else, not any longer the moon, but something else. And in this context particularly, it was the idea of a museum like the one we have set up.
So, in the context of, let's address the invitation today, because we are here sort of examining or addressing the concept of human rights in our society. So I want to address this issue of how does the interaction between the political, the public, the political opinion, the political actions, and the idea that this place is combining the rights of a home to the concept of human rights in the context of the Italian society. I would imagine that the audience is also interested in understanding the public reaction, the political reaction to such a place. So, yeah.
Sì, beh, diciamo che la questione dei diritti è centrale in tutti e due i progetti. Nel primo,
Well, the issue of human rights was key and central for both projects. As far as the first one is concerned, the migration to the moon, so to speak, this movie was broadcasted to Sky Arte, which is a channel in Italy, and it was very much focused on this forgotten spot of Rome. Like, you know, it's like the dust you don't want people, you don't want your guests to see, that you hide behind or under the carpet. Well, the slum, the squats, the poverty is something that you know, somehow you try not to see, or at least not to think about it. And as a matter of fact, we wanted this project also to be a letter, an explicit letter to the mayor, to tell and to share about this uncomfortable reality. And also in the context of the political museum, the focus was very much put on human rights. As I said, this is a political museum. It is set in a legal quarter. It is a squat where people are obliged to live, where you know, this is an invisible reality also. There is a law which has become applicable 1 year ago, approximately 1 year and a half. It is called Piano Casa. It concerns residents and houses, I would say residents and homes. And according to Article 5 of this recent law, people that live there have no rights to have access to school, for example, have no access to any kind of document, really, no ID, no right to medical care. So it's really a very uncomfortable and, as I said, invisible reality. We wanted to become visible.
So, in that perspective, is there a public discourse on the role of art in a political context?
Sì, intanto questo è un luogo privato, occupato ma restituito al pubblico, perché è uno spazio comune aperto alla città che l'arte sta trasformando e sta proteggendo. Quindi è un posto per tutti I cittadini, per il
I would say that this museum is one of the rarest public museum in Rome, because yes, it is a private museum, but everybody can go there, it can state and can see the realities as we have tried to represent it. So paradoxically, this museum is even more public than many others, because for some reasons that are connected to, you know, budget reasons and sustainability reasons. This word is taken out of the from ecology, but you know, they usually always say this word sustainability. For sustainability reason, public museums are managed by private galleries, and whereas our museum is public in the sense that it is focused on human rights, it is public, it is focused on transmitting a message to the whole population.
So what is the reality that this project can see that the non-artistic expression cannot see?
Il progetto vuole fare vedere tante cose diverse, vuole fare vedere che Roma, come tutte le grandi città, ha un problema di emergenza abitativa, vuole far vedere che questo problema
This project aims at showing some very some major difficulties that are to be experienced in Rome daily. So, for example, the house emerging and very urgent problem. There is not there are so many people that do not even have a house where to stay. And this project also aims at addressing this issue and raise the awareness of the political family, the political decision makers, to open their eyes, to say that there is a major need in this respect and that this need is so far neglected. This project also aims at proposing a new way of conceiving and using art, so in a different and a new way. Culture is not just going to the expo in Milano. Culture is not just to provide a scene, to make a show, but it's something more. Art is certainly beauty, and beauty belongs to anyone. Our museum is based on gifts, so there is no money circulating from any direction, so we don't accept money, we don't search for money. It's really the gift of each artist that wants to bring a contribution to all these purposes I have just mentioned. So it's really a multifaceted project that put, as we said, a focus on human rights from all these aspects, from the needs of the town to the needs of the people, from urban problem to fundamental freedoms, and as I said, also shows and tries to raise the awareness on beauty, on arts, and also states that beauty and art belong to anyone.
This just arrived now after the long conversation we had previously. Is there anything beyond human rights that is human, that art is giving us in this project? Is there anything more human than human rights explained here?
Sì, certo, ma questo è tutto l'aspetto.
I was thinking it was an interesting question for you, Giorgio. Yes, exactly.
No, è molto interessante, ma riguarda soprattutto, diciamo, innanzitutto chi vive all'interno di questo progetto, cioè le 200 persone che abitano Metropoliz e quindi i 60 bambini che vivono lì, che stanno sperimentando, non so con quale esito, comunque di vivere all'interno della pancia di un grande mostro completamente tatuato.
Yes. It is a very interesting question and issue, especially for the 200 people living there, for the 60 children living there and experiencing daily something which is very unique for them. They are in contact, for example, every day with artists in their daily life, which is really extraordinary for them and for anyone looking at this experience. And then the relationship also between the artists themselves, which is something that they find again, in the sense that outside this experience, the artists are somehow in competition with one another. There are rules to be respected, there are also tensions to be experienced, whereas they are working on a collective project. They are working together, they are working for the good of something or in someone. Therefore, this experience is somehow the experience they make to find the true vocation of artists. And this is also something which is, in my opinion, very interesting. And then this is also the dimension concerning the city itself, the quarter. You know, at the very beginning they were thinking that this quarter was a quarter of criminals, of drug addict people, of very dangerous people, whereas now we are asked to provide and to build a way, well, a road from the station to the museum. So it's, you know, it's like making this project more livable and more concrete. So we're going to check about this possibility. And then, of course, also the visitors that now come, they're very numerous. They come, they visit the place, and somehow they think and they reflect over what they see and what they experience themselves. They may think, well, we hope, this is the message we also would like to launch, that, you know, sometimes things seem to be crazy, seems to be very difficult to become concrete. You have the feeling that everything is blocked, that you cannot change the situations, that there is no future for anyone. Whereas sometimes, if you just make things differently, if you just, you know, well, there is space for hope and there is space for change. And that is something we really would like to convey.
We have few minutes left, so we know. Yeah. My last question would be, as I introduced to you previously, in Denmark, in the context of my own country, there has been an ongoing public discussion arriving from parts of the political establishment that artists should not interfere in the political scene. They should not address discussions on political opinions. They should not address their own personal opinions in the public. It might sound really strange when I address it this way, but that's actually...
It is strange.
I'm a little worried about this. Do you have anything to say about this? Is there anything that artists cannot have an opinion about, and where they should not address their opinions or their expressions?
In Italia?
In Italia. In the world, I don't know. In Metropoliz, I don't know.
Non so, sì, in Italia Henry De Luca è stato processato per aver espresso una sua opinione ed è un artista, quindi dipende cosa... Diciamo, a Metropoliz l'arte non parla del sociale, opera, diciamo, in un contesto sociale, opera in un contesto abitato. Il MAAM è il primo museo abitato e questo è l'esperimento, diciamo. Poi ciascun artista rimane...
Well, our museum is a very special project because the art does not speak about something, but is something. I mean, we operate, we create something artistically in the town itself, in this very poor quarter. So we don't have to invite something to launch the message or to convey a message. So we are present in the reality. So art is art in our case. It's not, we don't make art. In general, I would say the following. Art does not necessarily to make political debate or convey political messages. It can, the artist that can convey a message, can make something out of its work, but not necessarily has to. So I would say that art can be a very good instrument to share an idea, to share a project, convey a message, that is good. In this case, for example, to make a uncomfortable reality visible. And on the other side, art is art and needs to remain art. So it's very important not to interrupt the relationship with the world, and at the same time to be loyal to its own vocation, art as one itself.
Okay, I think it's a wonderful final act. So, may I thank you very much for participating, and thank you for a beautiful translation.
Grazie.